Hi, I'm Jade, and I made a fortune without knowing how to read a single word. But before I tell you my extraordinary story, click like and subscribe. Also, please follow us on Instagram and Facebook for exclusive content and to always be updated. When I was born, my dad named me Jade. He was a geologist who studied precious gemstones, and he said people around the world believed that jade brought good fortune. Well, that's all I knew about him from Mom. Growing up, it was just me and her, and we were always moving around. Sometimes we lived in tents, sometimes in minivans. Mom was a car mechanic and found jobs wherever we went. Once when I was 4, we were sleeping in our tent when I woke up in the middle of the night and noticed something strange.
Mom, I can see the sky.
Yes, honey, it's lovely. Go back to sleep now.
No, Mom, I can see the sky because our tent has flown away.
And that's when Mom sat up straight, but she wasn't too bothered by it. We lay back under the open sky, and she pointed out all the stars and constellations. When I was 5 and walking back home with Mom one day, I saw some school kids going by. I asked her when I'd be joining school, but her face clouded over. Never. Your dad went to the best schools and universities, but that didn't make him a good person. He just left us one day to be with his PhD professor. You don't have to learn how to read or write to have knowledge or kindness, Jade. You're probably thinking, what a dumb mom. But she really wasn't. She homeschooled me wherever our home was. There was no paper, no books, just us talking and imagining. And she also taught me all sorts of handy skills. By the time I was 9, I could change a car tire by myself. One day, Mom and I were at the grocery store when suddenly a masked guy walked in holding a board with something written on it. Everyone looked terrified and stood quietly while the guy started robbing the cash register. I felt really scared and ran for the door screaming, "Help! Help!" "What are you doing, stupid girl? Can't you read? Stop that!" But my screaming had already caught someone's attention outside, and seconds later the police arrived and caught the robber. Everyone thought I was a hero, but Mom was terrified. "You could have been killed because you couldn't read. I'll have to send you to school." And that's how I joined school in the 9th grade. On my first day, the teacher asked me to read out loud in class. I can't read.
Haha, nice one, kid. You picked the wrong teacher to mess with. Read now.
I just said I can't read. Why do I have to repeat that?
Gosh, you are so rude.
I swear on my grandma's grave, I can't read.
What are you doing in the 9th grade then?
Go back to kindergarten. Fine. Can someone guide me? I don't know where kindergarten is.
Oh my God. To the principal, now!
Okay. I also need someone to guide me there too. She looked furious and was about to drag me off to the principal, but she was already standing in the doorway. I think she made it clear that she can't read, didn't she? Or do you just enjoy bullying students? The teacher's face turned tomato red. She's really dumb, and I don't want her in my class. Are you sure about that? Go on, ask her something from the textbook. Fine. Can you explain what gravity is?
Of course.
If you'd only let me before. Gravity is an invisible force that pulls objects towards each other. The teacher looked shocked, and so did everyone else. The principal said that when she'd interviewed me, she realized I was a genius. But Jade, you do have to learn how to read. Come by my office every day after school and I'll help. And you'll stay in the 9th grade. As I took my seat, I tried to keep the grin off my face, while the teacher glared at me like a fire-breathing dragon. While I was eating lunch in the cafeteria that day, a girl called Paige walked up to me, grabbed my notebook, and wrote fat letters on it. When I looked up at her confused, she'd burst out laughing.
Wow, the loser doesn't even know how to read her own name.
Oh, are you a bully? Like one of those people who are insecure and try to hide it by being mean to others? My mom told me about people like you. Well, you can't mess with someone like me. I'm the daughter of the jungle, babe.
The daughter of what?
What are you talking about? I'm just here to tell you that I'm impressed by how you embarrassed that grumpy teacher. So, whatever, you can be my friend. You just call me a loser, and I don't want to be your friend.
Gosh, who do you think you are? No one talks to me this way.
And then she slapped me. I stood on the table and jumped on her. The grumpy teacher saw us and took us both to the principal. And she told the principal that it was all my fault. I couldn't control my anger and I called her a liar. This time, the principal didn't tolerate my behavior and suspended me for 3 days. When I returned to school, Paige came over to me at recess looking annoyed.
I really don't want to talk to you, but the principal sent me. She wants you to meet her in the back alley.
That sounded weird, but I didn't want to make the principal mad at me again, so I went. When I entered the alley, I saw the wired gate was open, and I walked in. There was a yellow board that had something written on it, but I didn't understand, obviously. And suddenly, I fell, and I kept falling. I landed with a thud at the bottom of a deep ditch. Oh my God, how was I gonna get out of here? I screamed for help, and thankfully a janitor heard me soon and helped me out. Oh, that Paige was dead meat. I rushed off to the principal's office to tell her everything, but she saw me and spoke first. Please, sit down, Jade. I'm afraid I have some bad news. She told me that Mom had been badly injured at work. I rushed to the hospital, and the doctors said she'd hurt her back and wouldn't be able to walk for a while. Mom was devastated. I was too, but I put on a brave face and hugged her. Don't worry, Mom. You've raised me to be tough like you. I'll find a job and take care of everything till you're better. Later that evening, when I went to get some medicines from the grocery store, the cashier didn't have $1 to give me as my change, so he gave me a scratch-off lotto ticket instead. I scratched it, but before I could ask someone to read it, I heard giggling behind me. It was Paige and her gang of bimbos.
Fancy running into you here. I thought you'd still be in that ditch.
I was already having the worst day, and I snapped. Paige, just shut up! I can't deal with your stupid face right now. I'd give you the money to shut up, but I don't have any. Here, take this. I flung the lotto ticket at her and started walking away, when suddenly I heard screams behind me.
OMG! This has a $30,000 prize, you idiot! Thanks a bunch.
Wait, what? I ran at her and tried to snatch the ticket, but her friends fought me off.
Give it back! I need the money! Yeah, who doesn't?
I'm gonna buy me some shoes. And with that, they all pranced away. Gosh, how could I be so stupid? I was walking back home one day and saw a few people crowding near a poster on the way. I was not interested in looking over it at all. Still, I passed by close. I saw pictures of maids on the poster. I casually said, "Who wants to buy a maid's costume, by the way? And they're so ugly." Someone from the crowd yelled,
"What nonsense are you talking about? We're just looking at this poster for a cleaning job. Are you dumb or blind?" "Hey, don't yell at me. I just can't read."
"That's even worse." I ignored him and quickly noted the number on the poster. I need this job. And just like that, I started working as a maid. After school and my reading lessons with the principal, I'd go clean people's houses. I worked hard, and my clients were really happy with my service. One day, I was given a job to clean up after a party, and when I got to the address, I saw that it was a huge mansion. As I started picking up the trash, I suddenly heard an all too familiar voice.
"Oh my God, are you a maid?"
"Paige, what does it look like? Leave me alone to do my job, please. I'd rather deal with your trash than talk to you anyway."
"Okay, Cinderella, I'll leave you alone."
I don't know why I was so shocked, really. Of course, you can't read or write, so these are the only kind of jobs you'll get. And she threw a whole bottle of soda on the floor before she marched off. Ugh. After that, she made it her mission to make my life miserable. She told everyone at school that I was a maid, and her friends would dump rubbish on my desk and ask me to clean it up. She wrote "Trash Girl" all over my locker, and she always made an extra mess at home when I had to go there for cleaning. I really wanted to quit, but I needed the money. One evening, I was leaving Paige's place after work, and I just stepped off the porch when something landed hard on my head. It almost knocked me down, and I had sand all over my face. I spat it out and rubbed my eyes to see Paige standing on the balcony laughing her head off.
Gosh, that was so funny. I wish I'd filmed it. Good night, Trash Girl.
I hated her. I was going to pay her back for this. When I was back home, I was dusting off my clothes and my apron when something fell out of its pocket. It was a large, dirty stone. Mom asked me to give it to her, and when she looked at it closely, her eyes went wide.
Where did you find this? That horrible page threw a bag of sand at me. I guess it fell out of there and went into my apron pocket. Just some garbage. Jade, I don't think this is garbage. I think it's an unpolished pink diamond.
Wait, what? I went to a jewelry store the next day and had it checked. The old man behind the counter took forever to examine it and then turned to me slowly.
This is a rare pink diamond from a royal tribe in Sierra Leone. It's a treasure that belongs in a museum.
What happened next was crazy. Now I had money to get the best treatment for her and enough to cover all our expenses for a long time. The story of how a schoolgirl found a rare treasure in the trash spread far and wide, and I was even on the local news. The exciting events of my life had kept me away from school for a few days, but when I returned, of course, Paige was waiting for me.
Wow, the trash girl really got lucky. Guess sometimes in life, going through other people's garbage can really pay off.
I walked up to her calmly and whispered in her ear, "You know where I found that diamond, Paige? It was in that sandbox you threw at me." Crazy, isn't it? Thanks a bunch. Paige just stared at me with manic eyes, let out an ear-splitting scream, and stormed off. Thankfully, I didn't have to deal with her drama for too long. I moved to another city with Mom where she could get better treatment. I worked really hard on my reading skills and graduated high school at the top of my class. But the best part of graduation day was the surprise Mom had for me. She got up from her wheelchair and walked slowly towards me. I couldn't believe my eyes as I ran to her and hugged her tight. "My physiotherapist says I'll be able to walk completely fine in no time. And it's all because of you, Jade. Your dad was right. You brought good fortune with you. And I wanted to say, I'm so sorry. I've kept you away from school for so long. It really wasn't fair to you. Please forgive me. Please forgive your mama." "Oh, Mom, please. I do forgive you. We all make mistakes." "No, my mistake is unforgivable. I have forbidden you from reading and writing. Only stupid, insane people do that. Forgive me, please." "Mom, learning to read and write is really important. But you taught me so much too, and I'm grateful for that. Please stop crying. I love you so much." A few months later, Mom recovered completely, and she went back to working as a car mechanic. I'm studying mechanical engineering at university now on full scholarship, and I hope to open a workshop with Mom one day. But the biggest lesson I've learned is that if you have a thirst for knowledge, you can learn new things anytime, anywhere. And the most valuable thing you can ever learn or have is kindness.